Well, I've always been interested in health, and I started off my career sort of after university in Ethiopia, doing global health fieldwork. And I'm from Ghana. I'm from a developing country as well. Although I enjoyed that, I felt I wanted to do something that I felt could impact a larger number of people.
I'm from Australia. I've been living and working in London for the last 10 years as a lawyer, both in the city and working within a NHS Foundation Trust, so a group of hospitals in Hampshire.
I read physics at UCL originally, and I heard about the reputation of the NHS graduate programme. When I set off on that journey, I wasn't sure whether it was something for me. I found it incredibly interesting.
Prior to this, I was actually doing my undergraduate degree back in the States in anthropology, which was something that I really enjoyed and was really passionate about.
My undergraduate was quite broad. I took classes from everything from African music to Greek mythology, along with my economics courses.
The key piece that was missing for me in anthropology, though, was sort of this application.
My story starts from after medical school. I practiced for a few years, started my training as internal medicine registrar, hoping to become a specialist in internal medicine. However, midway through my training, I realized that the health system had some problems that were just beyond myself.
I reached a point in my development where I wasn't confident that all areas of the NHS had the know-how and knowledge of how to solve a growing financial burden, issues of productivity and efficiency. And I really thought the LSE could offer that and really help with my understanding of how healthcare interacts with the larger economy.
Practicing as a doctor, I have had to see where patients had to choose between eating food or paying for drugs, and that made me to start searching for a program that would give me competencies in health policy formulation, healthcare financing, how to plan health systems and implement programs effectively, and that made me discover the LSE and the Health Policy Planning and Financing program.
So there were two things that really attracted me to come to the London School of Economics. The first was the research that comes out of the department and the high-profile nature of some of the professors.
It's very apparent that those who we're taught by are absolutely experts within their field.
But I think perhaps even more importantly was the fact that policymakers like NHS England were really picking up on this research, and they were using it to develop long-term plans for the NHS.
Obviously, the LSE name is so valued in the job market, which is amazing, but it's also been so cool to meet so many different kinds of people. This is the first time that I've been, say, exposed to people who are older than me and people who've had other careers, but that we're all sort of peers and doing the same thing and experiencing the same things and learning from the same amazing professors. And so that has been a really, really valuable experience in and of itself.
Before I graduated from my undergraduate degree, I didn't even know that health economics existed.
I had no idea what I was coming into.
It was fantastic to come back into education. You certainly come back in with a very professional and sort of work-orientated mindset. Dealing with deadlines has been, significantly easier this time around.
When I was working in the NHS, I was sitting within the management team, working a lot on legal and regulatory and commercial matters. And during my time there, I realized that in order to be able to really make a difference in the way that the services are delivered, one needs to have a greater appreciation of the operational challenges, of the clinical challenges, and needs to be able to portray those issues to whoever it is, whether it's a government or whether it's an NHS Trust board, in a way that goes beyond the legal aspects.
The beauty of the course is that it's very applicable on an international level. We learn about a great deal of health systems, which is fantastic because it means that the skill set here at the LSE is then therefore applicable to a whole wide range of countries.
It made me see that health policy is not as straightforward as it looks. It has opened my eyes to a wide range of options ahead of me.
What am I going to do next?
I'm not quite sure exactly where I will be in 5 years' time. But I do know that I'll be working in a role that has a social impact, and it will be within or working alongside the NHS here in England.
At the end of my program, I hope to return back to my job in the Federal Ministry of Health in Nigeria and support the formulation of policies. I'm particularly interested in healthcare financing.
My long-term aim is I'd want to be a chief executive within the NHS, and I think this kind of course gives you an element of expertise that potentially I wouldn't be able to get from remaining just within the NHS.
I'm optimistic and I have a renewed enthusiasm to go out into the world and really try to make a difference in the area that's important to me, which is mental health.
It's definitely been worth my time, yeah.
I'm glad I was at the LSE to study health policy, planning and financing, and I believe the skills I have acquired in this program will set me on path to become a global health leader in a few years to come.
We'll wait for your appearance. I'm waiting for you at the UN, the next Nigerian elections.